Hello, so this is going to be a video tutorial on how to use TinkerCAD. Now, as you can see, I've created a 3D model here of a sort of a toy or a product, but you can really use this software to create any 3D model that you like. Now, depending on what your project is, the size will or won't be important. So let me explain that. This work plane at the bottom actually represents the 3D printer bed. And so if you are key stage 4, for example, and you're actually going to make this product, then the size does actually matter. You do need to think about what the sizes are and the measurements, and I'll show you how to do that. Whereas if you're using this, for example, to make an interior design project or to make a 3D representation of a product that you're going to make, then you don't really need to worry too much about the scale. Okay, so let's crack on and let's show you how to actually make this. So to start off with, over at the side here, you can see we've got our basic shapes, and it's very easy for you to just basically click on those and drag them in. And I've realized that I've missed a step, so forgive me. The way to actually do this is you need to go to Google and you need to type in TinkerCAD. And it will come up here. You don't need to install anything, you don't need to download anything at all. You just click on it, and all you need to do is then sign in. So you can either create an account, or if you've got a Google, a Gmail, or you've got a Facebook account, you can just use that. It's all private, so I won't see any of that stuff anyway, so you don't need to worry about that. But you just log in, and then you click on Create New Design. And that will take you to this page that we were just on. Right, okay, so now we've got that out of the way. Let's just navigate around. First of all, here is your views, and you can click on this to sort of rotate and look around. This is zoom in and zoom out. This will take you to the home, which is how it was when we started. And over here on the side is you've got your shapes. You've got basic shapes, but you can also go down here and you can find other slightly more complex shapes that are pre-made. And all it really is using shapes to create your design. So I'm going to kind of create a little teddy bear, shall we say. So if I drag in my sphere, for those of you that are making this to a specific size, because you're 3D printing it, you click on here and you can type in here the actual measurements. And this is in millimeters. So this at the moment is 20 millimeters, which is just 2 centimeters. Okay, you can't go massive because the 3D printer couldn't print something that big. If you're doing something like interior design and you're just creating some furniture, then you don't necessarily need to worry about the size. You just need to make it look roughly how you're going to make it look. Okay, you can then drag in multiple shapes to create something a little bit like you were going to make. And you can see how I'm clicking on these and just dragging them along. So say like that was a couch. Now that's currently 2 objects. To make it one, I just select both objects together and I go up here where it says group. And by clicking on that, I turn it into one solid object. And you can see now I can adjust that and it will adjust it all together. So I've been able to make a little couch there. Now for our teddy bear, I'm just going to size this up a little bit. I'm going to do it freehand, just to what looks right. I want it to be a bit of an egg shape. And again, I can use the view to look at what that looks like. I'm quite happy with that. I'm now going to drag in the ball again. I need to lift it up. I need to raise it up to sit it on top of here like a snowman. So this cone allows me to lift it off the ground, and this box is telling me how high I've lifted it off. Now I could just click on it and move it in the direction I want to move it in. I want it to be a bit higher, and I want it to be a little bit bigger this time. And then again, it's important to just rotate round and just check. So that's not quite what I wanted, so I need to bring that in a bit. This is easier to do if you've got a mouse. If you haven't got a mouse, then you can right click on the pad on the laptop, or you can use the directional pad, which is just the up and down arrows on your keyboard to move things, and that can be a little bit easier too. Okay, so let's just do some ears, and I want the ears to be flat, so let me show you how we can do that. So for the ears, I'm going to take two balls and I'm going to push them in together. Now what I'm going to do though is I'm going to use this ball to create the shape out of this ball. Let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to click on this, I'm going to make it a hole. That turns it invisible, and you can see, if I zoom in, you can see how that's going to make like an indent inside this ball. And I can just position this one, again using the directional pad. I can push it further in or further out. I'm quite happy with that. Then when I highlight both of them together and go to group, it's just going to cut out the hole altogether, and it's going to leave a shape behind with whatever the hole has taken out. There we go. So I've created quite a complicated shape there, but I'm quite happy with that for my ear. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to drag it up and position it in place for the ear. And again, you know, take your time with this. I'm trying to do a demo, so I'm trying to do this quite quickly, but obviously take your time. Now I want to just copy that exact same thing and paste it. So if I press Control and C on your keyboard and then Control and V, it will just copy the same thing, and I can just move that across to the other side. Okay, let's see how we're looking. Not bad actually. So again, if I want to rotate an object, you can see you've got these curved arrows here, which allow me to rotate an object. Some shapes also have options on the side. You see these options, how many sides there are? And you can see it affecting the ridges along the side. Bevel means that it's rounding the edges there. You should be able to see the edge just being rounded, and how many segments there are as well. So if I have a look now, I've adjusted that, and it's just got a bit of a bevel, which is this, and it's got more sides, which makes it a bit rounder. I'm just going to position that here as a little leg. Control C, Control V. I'm just going to move that to the other side. Remember to keep looking from different views. So I think this needs to come further back. And the same with this one. And actually I think I need to angle them so that they're facing into the body more. So I'm going to change my view, keep adjusting your view. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to rotate them in. Just move that in a bit. I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm going to click on this, go to the rotate option, and rotate that in. Just tuck it in a bit. Okay, and I've got my legs. And I would probably do a very similar thing for the arms. I might make the arms a bit thinner. Definitely want a full bevel on it. I definitely want more sides. And I think I'll just go for 10 segments, which makes it very, very rounded. Lift that up, move that in position. If something goes wrong, like that just went all the way over there, I have no idea why. If you press Control Z, it'll undo whatever's happened. There we go, that's much better. Okay, So I could spend a bit of time now doing the face, but what I really want to focus on now is how to group this to make this one object. So at the moment, they're all separate objects and they're all over the place. What I need to do to make it a solid object is highlight all of them and go to group. And you'll know it's worked because they should all go the same color. And there we go. And right now, I could send that. I could go to export, STL, and then save that. And that will save it as an object that I can literally send to a 3D printer and have it printed exactly to that size with those measurements. Again, if you're doing something a bit more like architectural, then you don't need to worry too much about the measurements and what I would be expecting you to do. So if I set you some work on TinkerCAD, if it's GCSE and you're actually making it, you need to export it as an STL and you need to print screen the images and paste them into a document. If you are Key Stage 3 and I'm asking you to use this just to design or create a 3D model of something, then I would like some images. And the images I would like is I'd like you to print screen a 3D view, and I would also like you to print screen an orthographic projection, so the front, the side, and the top. Okay, so that is the end of this tutorial.